Alright, so it's Monday, August 28th. It's about 20 after 9. Getting my Monday started. Out on the road. Didn't have much in the lines of emails or unfinished business from last week. Good indication that we're taking a turn into the slower season. So as crazy as June, July, and August were, the last couple of days of August now getting into September, and it's slower. Not as much to follow up on from make-readies, not as much to prepare for as far as turnover at the end of this month, and that's good. It's kind of freeing me up mentally, allowing me to focus more on this endeavor we are engaging in. So we had hurricane hit the coast over the weekend, and we were supposed to get an extreme amount of weather, and we did not. So that worked out well for us here in San Antonio. That storm was supposed to track directly at us, and it ended up veering east, which took us out of the mix. So a little worried on Friday. The radio and the news and everybody kind of was pushing the panic button and had me a little worried. So we stocked up on water and made sure we had plenty of food and candles and batteries and all the stuff that they were recommending, and didn't really get the storm we were anticipating, but it was nice to be prepared just in case. So a lot of people weren't so lucky. There was a lot of damage, so there'll be a lot of cleanup here over the next probably year, I would have imagined. Some of those spots, maybe more, I don't know. think at any given time I had more than two. So I'm pretty sure that was my mom and Rhonda. But I was able to get some feedback from them. You know, how was the sound quality? I could see on the screen that the laptop had a very narrow field of view, so it was really, I had to stand in one spot to be on the camera, and it covered you know, my countertop where I was prepping, and it got to, you know, a view of the stove, but it wasn't a very good angle, but that was the best I could get off of that. But I did have the GoPro set up, had a little tripod set up with that on the counter, had a more of a wide angle view, and so we've got somebody here that's panhandling. I'm trying to figure out what he's saying. Keeps pointing to the sky and talking to himself or somebody. The light's changing, but I'm not going to get stuck with this light with this guy. Anyway, so I had the GoPro set up, and I actually synced it with my cameras, or with my phone, so that I could see what was being recorded, which I don't usually do. I've actually only done it maybe a couple times when I first had it, but it's a nice tool to have. So I had my phone kind of propped up so I could see what was being captured by the GoPro, and then I had the screen set up, had the two different feeds going. I started the GoPro one almost 5 minutes before I started the live one, because I was having a lot of difficulty just pulling the trigger, pushing that start button on that live one. I was nervous. I was very anxious about it. Again, I was more worried about, you know, how smooth it was going to be, and what I was going to talk about in the dead time. If I had dead time, I had not. I mean, it was, the reason for recording was because I was experimenting with recipes again, which the whole weekend was kind of a experimental weekend, which was fun. But I wanted to do what I do and go live with it, so people could see kind of the creative process. I just, you know, started grabbing stuff off the shelves and cutting and mixing, and I had a rack of ribs in the oven. It was just a matter of coming up with some side dishes that we could have with it, and it was, you know, something that I've wanted it to be spontaneous, much like this restaurant concept. I wanted it to be in the moment and just using what was available. And I keep a pretty good stock of supplies around, so I have a lot of choices, which is what I like doing. So I wanted some kind of a potato starchy something, and logged in all the way, well, up until my video cut off. Apparently there's an hour time limit on that, which I was not aware of. So we hit the 1 hour mark, and it just came up on my screen and everybody else's that video has ended. I got on immediately and restarted it, but everybody else, I guess, thought, well, the video's over, and I was hoping that they would get another notification to come back on. Didn't really work out that way, so it's something I need to keep in mind if I'm doing anything like that on Instagram, that I've got an hour time limit, and I guess if I'm going live and we're creeping up on that hour mark, I'll need to announce to anybody that's watching, hey, this is going to cut out in an hour, and I'll log back in and boot up again with another, if anybody cares to see that. So but I like that it's interactional, and it's basically what I wanted. I wanted to have interactions during this process, which is what the restaurant concept is kind of revolving around. So, I was able to get comments from my mom typed up, and I could see them on the screen every time she wanted to say something. They came up, and I could actually speak and respond to her, so she could ask questions. What wine are you drinking? And I could, show. So I liked all of that, but and it made me more comfortable. Having that first one out of the way was definitely beneficial to me. I always feel awkward recording when I think somebody can hear me, and it's I don't understand why I feel that way, but I felt more awkward about having Rhonda in the other room while I was doing that. I've been making these recordings for years, and I'm very comfortable now just doing my thing, but doing it and having somebody around that is witnessing it is I don't know, an issue for me that I'm trying to gonna have to work through. And yesterday it did. I did become, I was very aware that she was sitting in the other room listening to everything I was saying, and it bothered me more that she was sitting in the other room listening than it did that there was people on the other end of the screen there watching. So, but it was good. It was a good experience when it was all done and we sat down to eat. I was very glad that I had done it, and feeling very good about where we were going, what we were doing, the progress we were making, and the fact that we've kind of made these decisions that we are going to do this now, and we're really moving forward with it. On the downside, I have not been able to write. I sat down again yesterday. It's the second week in a row I sat at the computer on Sunday morning to generate some more material for the book, and just could not connect with my subject matter. It just wasn't happening. So that was a little disappointing. So, I'm creeping up now on, it's probably been 5 weeks since I've been able to contribute to that body of work, and it's probably one of the things that will be talking to Patrick. I have Patrick's call tomorrow night, and I'm going to be looking to him to help get me motivated again. I've needed very little coaching from him. It's just nice to talk to him about what's going on every couple of weeks to keep me again kind of tied into this. But now with all this other stuff going on, I feel like maybe I've stretched myself too thin, and I'm having difficulty locking into the book itself. So I don't know, we'll see. Tomorrow night we'll have that talk, and we'll see if I can try and get myself refocused. Other than that, I don't really have much more to talk about. I'm creeping up here on my, so this was supposed to have been that's all I've got right now. I'm happy with where we're at, with where we're going, and I like the progress we're making, and about this much scared and this much excited, but we'll work through the fear and focus on the excitement and keep moving forward, and hopefully come February, which is my timeline, we're having a grand opening, and nothing but good.